y'all, it's Abby Star. This is going to be my full coverage foundation routine. This is my full coverage, like all day, full beat. This is not like your everyday, just a little bit of foundation and neutralize everything. Oh my gosh, there's like a hair in my eye. If you hear that jingling, that's my little kitty running around. But anyways, so this foundation routine is meant to be full coverage, last you all day, and basically make you look flawless. So I know some of the products I used are, all of the products I used are high-end, and I don't want you to think I'm saying you have to have these products to make this work. Make it work with what you have, but I'm just telling you the products I like that make my skin just absolutely what I want it to be. Like right now, I'm wearing the exact foundation routine. It's just a different day. I've had this on for about I think three and a half hours, and this is how it looks, you know, after I've been wearing a few hours. It still looks great. I'm happy with it. It's good coverage. It lasts all day, and you're gonna hide anything you want to hide. So anyways, I'm not gonna babble on and give this long intro because this is just a simple foundation routine. So if you want to find out how I beat my face, then keep watching. Alright, so before we go diving into any product to put on our face, we're going to talk about what we need to do to make sure that our makeup stays on all day long. So you want to start out with a clean face and an exfoliated face. You want to kind of get all that dead skin off. You know I get dead skin around my nose. I get kind of dry skin around here, and it's just really good to exfoliate because you want to get all of that off. Otherwise, your foundation clings to it and it doesn't blend into your skin. So you want to start out with a clean face and a moisturized face. This is so important even if you have oily skin. In my opinion, especially, I guess, dry skin, you have to have it, but oily skin, you have to have it too. The reason why is because your face is going to produce an excess amount of oil after you've been washing it and exfoliating it and getting all that dead skin off. Your skin's going to be like, oh my gosh, I have no oil, and it's going to overproduce. But if you put a moisturizer on your face, your skin is moisturized and does not feel the need to produce all of those oils. So literally science, moisturize your face so your skin doesn't get oily. I know it sounds backwards. Also, if you want your foundation to stay on all day, steer clear of oil moisturizers and super rich and creamy moisturizers. You want a light cream or gel. Gel is the best for oily skin. A gel moisturizer. The top two I definitely recommend would be the Fresh. They make a soy rose water gel moisturizer, and it's my favorite. It's a little bit tackier than the Clinique gel. It's the Clinique Dramatically Different Gel Moisturizer. Those two are both great, but I find the Fresh one is better. It leaves your skin a little bit more tacky, which is better for your foundation. Alright, now that we have walked through a spiel of what you need to do for your skin, so I know it seems excessive, but this is what's going to make your foundation stay on all day. If you don't have those extra oils breaking through and you have all that dead skin and your foundation is just blending right on to your bare skin, it's just a better situation for how it looks, how it wears, everything. If you're not doing that, I definitely suggest trying it, and it will make a difference. Next step in having a foolproof, just flawless, if you want your skin to be snatched, you need a primer. So there's primers, all different kind of primers for all different kind of people. Me, I have noticed, I used to be matte. I loved matte primers, but I've noticed my skin getting drier the older I get. But I have porous skin and just a little bit of texture. So my favorite, holy grail, oh that is so rude. So rude. Alright, so my favorite holy grail primer. There is no other primer that fills in my pores like this, is the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer Smoothing. Now, I will go ahead and tell you, they sell like a whole line of primers, like they have a whole line of the Step 1s, but there's different versions. There's a matte, there's a radiant, obviously the smoothing, and you know, other ones. If you have super oily skin, you're going to want to go for a matte primer. And I know if you have more textured skin, if I need this to last all day. I just know this foundation is going to be on my skin for hours and hours and hours. I will put a mattifying primer on my nose and kind of like my T-zone, but focus my pore primer out here. And I know that seems excessive, but you're here to see what works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this primer, I'm going to shake it up a little bit. I love that this is a squirty tube. I love squirty tubes. Rub that. I focus it right onto my porous, my most porous part of my face, and that is my cheeks. And then I slowly start kind of bringing it other places. One mistake I used to make is I put way too much primer on my nose, and that can cause your foundation to cake. It can cause it to not look good. It can not be a good situation. This is a more new step to me because I got this primer for Christmas, but it is the NYX Honey Do Me Up, and I take just a little bit of that. It's cute. It's a cute bottle. But I don't take a whole lot, but around the perimeters of my face can just be a little dull and lifeless. And I'll notice, ooh, did I just sling that in my hair? Yuck. Because this is like a very like tacky, oh my gosh. Get it together. This is more like tacky primer. It's like kind of just slippery. Anyways, I put that on the perimeters of my face just because I like to bring a little life back into my face, and that's more optional. Now this is another kind of like extra step, but I like to take a beauty sponge, and I don't have enough of the Makeup Forever primer on a couple parts of my cheeks. I wasn't looking while I was doing this. Alright, but what I do to make sure I don't have any excess primer, I take a clean beauty sponge. Another tip. You want to have like great foundation and stuff? Wash your beauty blenders. Wash your beauty sponges. I wash mine every time I use it because I feel gross if I don't. That's just me. Personal preference. But after I put that primer on, I'm just going to press it into my skin. Another step that I like to do is to like do a little primer spray. And I do like to dab that in with my sponge. Just kind of helps the skin soak it in and then gets the excess. Alright, so my go-to foundation combo that I'm like live, breathe, die for. And I've been doing this for a while, and it's funny because Jacqueline just did it in one of her videos, and she's like, this is my favorite foundation combination of all time, but it's the Dior Forever Skin and the Hourglass Vanishing Stick Foundation. I love these two together. This is amazing coverage, and this like seriously hides your pores. It's amazing. I love this, and I love this one too. How I start is I take the Hourglass stick, and I kind of stay away from my pores, but kind of keep it towards the middle of the face because I want my coverage to focus on the redness in my cheeks. And you know, what other time is best to do a full coverage foundation look than when you're literally breaking out? Don't put your like stick like directly onto like active zits. That could be such a mess. Alright, now that you have this painted on all over your face, I like to take a few pumps of the Dior and then kind of dot it. Then I'm going to take my beauty sponge and blend it out. After I've pretty much blended it out, I kind of go back with the extra Diorskin, and I just fill in areas that I feel I just want a little bit more coverage. And you definitely want to get underneath here and make sure all that's covered. See, he's not wanting to give up. After I blend in my foundation, I like to go with a clean beauty sponge, and I just kind of pat over top it. And this is going to kind of soak up any of that excess foundation, keep it from being cakey. I've also found with this foundation, just the longer this sits on my face, especially after I set it, it just looks better and better. One thing I did want to say before I go into my next step, just because I use the Diorskin and the Hourglass, that does not mean that I think to get a full coverage, amazing look, you have to go out and buy that foundation. A great foundation from the drugstore's full coverage is the L'Oreal Infallible. That's a great one. Wet n Wild Photo Focus, that's a good one from the drugstore. It's not as full coverage, but it is buildable. I use two different concealers to kind of highlight and conceal, and no full coverage look is there without concealer, in my opinion, especially with these dark under eyes. But under my eyes, I always use my Tarte Shape Tape. There is nothing else that I just love under my eyes as much as I do my Tarte Shape Tape. But I really love the NARS Radiant Creamy concealer for down the bridge of my nose and to highlight the other parts of my face because it's not as much coverage. But also, if it's more of kind of like a laid back day, I definitely lean more towards this. But I would definitely say my very favorite is the Tarte Shape Tape. I use it more than any, definitely, I have to say. And how I apply my concealer is first I start out underneath my eyes. Also, the shade I'm using in the Tarte Shape Tape is Fair. Everybody's different, but I know my under eyes crease like lightning fast. So I go ahead and immediately set them. And I'm just using a little bit of translucent powder. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder. I just dip my wet beauty sponge into it. And that sets that. And I really love that powder. It really is great. Now I'm going to go in and do one thing that a lot of girls forget. If you're going to highlight underneath your eyes and put that light concealer under there, you've got to balance it out or it just makes your face look weird and unbalanced. So you take some down the bridge of your nose. Depending on how you are with your forehead, you may want to do this differently. because some people don't want to draw a lot of attention to their forehead. Dot on the chin, Cupid's bow. I kind of highlight this whole area. After I blend it out, all that concealer, I set it with the loose powder. Now, one thing to keep in mind with loose powder is flashback in photography, but I don't know about y'all, but I'm not experiencing a whole lot of that on my day-to-day. But if you are going to be in flash photography, I definitely suggest a pressed powder, not a loose setting powder. Otherwise, you're going to look like Casper the Friendly Ghost lighting up underneath your eyes. Alright, so I used a little bit of pressed powder that was a little bit darker to go and set around the perimeters of my face. But after that, you're pretty much covered. You have your base all ready to go. So I guess, yeah. So if you're wondering why I look different, it's because we lost the footage of my intro and my outro, so I'm refilming it on a different day. But anyways, this is how my foundation routine looks after eyeshadow, contour, lashes, and everything. I've actually been wearing it for a few hours now, and I think it still looks really great. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I wanted to thank you so much for watching, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Tell me what your favorite foundation is, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.